So what's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. So tonight we're gonna do a review of a rapper that we really haven't heard much noise from in a while, and I'm speaking of the one and only Big Crit. Um, Big Crit was one of the leaders of the new school movement in the early 2010s. I believe he was part of the freshman class. I want to say freshman class 2011 or 2010, and he came in with a bang with some classic mixtapes coming out. I know Cadillactica was a standout album from him, and I'd say up until about 2016 or 2017 or so, he was mentioned in the top rappers of that generation with Freddie Gibbs, Big Sean, of course, J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick Lamar. He was in that class. And really, after about 2018, 2019, he kind of faded from that. I don't know how active he was. He wasn't as active, but he kind of faded from the limelight. And even though he put out projects, they didn't garner the attention of what he uh, was receiving early in the 2010s. But he came back with a new project, and I gotta admit it brought a smile to my face. I was like, wow, this kind of really to me brought him back in the conversation a little bit, And I think it's a great time for Big Crit to make a comeback into the hip hop conversation as to who is the best, because right now there's nobody really out there that's really making a lot of noise. So we're gonna take a look at Cadalee Biarritz. Biarritz. Is that the word? Let me make sure I got this right. Okay. Dedicated to Cadalee Biarritz. 17 songs just came out a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to do what we do. We're going to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and we're going to sum it up all in the end. So let me get things going. All right. Okay. Hold on a minute. Let me get this right. But yeah, it definitely surprised me. A pleasant surprise from Big Crit. As I pull this up real quick, let me go to my get this right. So, dedicated to Cadalee Biarritz. And let's talk about it. So, what did I like? I like the vibe on this. This definitely had the early 2010s down south country, slow, old school, classic South vibe that Kendrick Lamar. There it goes. I think about Kendrick Lamar and Drake always. That Big Crit came into the game with. So I really think that he really set the tone for this record. And this is definitely a classic down south hip hop record. It brings you back to the old Outkast Dungeon Family vibes, with a smooth, Southern style. Like, in a way, like Big Crit always reminded me of a cross between an Atlanta rapper and a Houston rapper. Houston has a laid back, slow, vibe type of style, kind of vibey type of style. And Atlanta had I mean, in the classic days, had more the aggressive MCs and came more with 808 bangers later on when you entered like the future era and the era of the 2010s. But I like his mic presence on here. I like his tone. I like his vibe. I like how he sounds on here. Overall, this he sounds like he's back in the conversation. He sounds like he's making top-notch music again. You know what I mean? So what songs did I like? Let's go through. Let's talk about the best songs on here to check out. I like Old News. It's a good tone setter. Nice strong beat. Not too aggressive, but I like the tone setter on there. Then Gotta Do It is an up tempo vibe type of record. I think it's maybe the most catchy song on here. Gotta Do It. I think it's also like the lead single too. Definitely feeling that one. Then I gotta say High Def, another vibe record where he's singing. He's got some nice melodies on that one. Not in the Whip is definitely a banger on there. And you definitely hear that. When you put it on in the car, you're definitely going to hear the 808 on that one. And he kind of takes a little bit of a conscious political tone on this one. It's interesting. He brings up some topics on that. Even though it's a short song, it's still effective. I definitely like that. I-20, another dope vibe record where you just roll down the window on a warm afternoon and just ride out to that. I definitely like his melodies on that. I like his flows on there. Elevated is another one, another good vibe record. And also Everlink Sub Knocker, and it is another banger. He comes out there, he always has these songs that kind of you get that down south banger type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like not like the strip club bangers or whatever, but something you could definitely roll down your windows and really feel the vibe of that record. So definitely that's another good one. I like So Far So Good, another vibe record, another slow down tempo type of Houston vibe, kind of Houston player type of vibe on there. And also In the Rain, which even though it's a short song, it's still pretty good. But another more of like an emotional type of record. You know what I mean? If you're down on your luck, you know what I mean? You could kind of vibe out to that one. But overall, those are the songs I really check for. And it's definitely, he did mix in a good amount of bars and melodies. He's not really going to go over your head. It's kind of straightforward what he's talking about. You get the concepts. He's got a little bit of a conscious political tone. He snuck some of those bars in there. And at the same time, he also gave you the traditional down south, just cool type of, laid back vibe on there, I would definitely think this is in the running for Sleeper Album of the Year. So what didn't I like? Did not like on this one. There's nothing I really didn't like. It's only the songs are only about 2 minutes long. They have some interludes in there that I could either do or do without. Well, the interludes are all right. There are not really many skips on here. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, the last song with Celebrate the Line, I think was cool, but I think they were doing a little bit too much on there. They had too many people on that song. That's the only thing I would say. And it looks like he's independent now. He's not on a major label. He was on Def Jam way back when. That's almost 10 years ago now, but it's independent label. But I definitely check this out. Dedicated to Cadalee Biarritz. Cadalee Biarritz is what it is. Cadalee Biarritz. It's just they spell it kind of weird, but Cadalee Biarritz is the name of the album. Um, so there's not much to like, you know what I mean, on this, but maybe a couple of songs, maybe just okay, you know what I mean. But it's a very short album, you know. He could have snuck in a couple of verses or another verse here or there on some of those records. Other than that, it's pretty much a straight play. So with that, what rating are we going to give this? So let's go to lyrics. I'm gonna go with a 7.5 to an 8. Big K.R.I.T's not really a lyrical guy like that. He, focuses more on feeling and emotion. He's an emotional storytelling type of guy. He will sneak in some, concepts in there, whether it be conscious, whether it be telling you what's going on in the hood, you know. So I think lyrically it's pretty solid. I go 7.5 to an 8 on there. Production, I go 8.5. I think it's a straight down south, smooth, southern vibe album. You know what I mean? This is not the new school southern rap. New school, it's not the turn up, current trap like 21 Savage, a Young Thug, and none of that. Nah, this is that classic old school, Dungeon Family type of Outcast type of vibe. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's more of an Outcast type of vibe or more of a Houston type of vibe. I don't know. It's kind of a mix between the two of them. I could also picture this being like an old school Slim Thug or Paul Wall album. Some of those vibe records that they used to put out. So definitely I like the production on here. I give it 8.5 out of 10. Flows and energy. I give it an 8.5 as well. I love his melodies are real catchy. His hooks are real catchy. I just like it. You could tell when he's rapping, he's feeling good. He's just feeling good about himself. He's in a good space. He's right. I really like the energy on this one. I definitely give it an 8.5 out of 10. Great melodies, great flows on there. That they're not boring on there. It's entertaining. So I definitely give it an 8.5 out of 10. And replay value, I give it a solid 8. I could see myself playing this, on my playlist for a while. You know what I mean? I think it gives you a good feeling. It's more of a summertime type of record. It's a shame it's coming out at the end of the year. I mean, this is the type of record that you want it to be like an 80, 90-degree day, put the windows down and just, coast to this record and just press play. Let it play all the way through. So definitely more of a summertime feel, but I like the replay value on this. Definitely is going to stay on the playlist for a while. Features, I'll probably go with a 7. He had that one track at the end with Paul Wall and some of the other Houston rappers on there. Zero, Proper Lane, Slim Thug, and all that. He didn't need all of those guys on there, but it's just okay. He had another guy on here too, Carlos Miller. He's just okay. It's not anything special on there. So Features is probably a 7 or so. So overall rating, I'm going with a straight 8 out of 10. Looks like this is going to make my top 10 right now. I like this album. I just love the vibe. It's a great vibe record. The only thing is it's a little bit too short. The songs are really short. The songs are only about between 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But sometimes that's not a bad thing, because you could go through the whole album literally in like 35 minutes and just catch a good vibe to it. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to go with a solid 8 out of 10. I definitely will check this out. I would say right now, I would have to think about my top 10. I'll probably have to look at it and say that definitely the top five is God Sort 'Em Out, Alfredo 2. I probably have to say Raekwon's Emperor's New Clothing, Infinite. I probably have to say Mobb Deep. I probably have to say number 5 would probably be Dave East Karma 4. Also, 6 would probably be Fine Dining with Young Chris and Dave East. I probably have to say Wale would be 7, my 7th spot. 8, I don't know. I gotta re-listen to Jid again. I think Jid is kind of hanging around there as one of the top albums in this year. I give that an 8 out of 10 or so. So Wale, that I probably had to say that Ransom and Conductor Williams project at my 9. And I probably had to say right now, I would say this Big Crit would be at my 10. Honorable mentions, I probably have Nas and Primo in there. I probably have Larry June and 2 Chainz and Alchemist in there. There's some others I'm leaving out, but there's a long time. We got a couple weeks before we get our final list in there. But this, I think, is in my 10 slot right now. Overall rating, I would go 8 out of 10 for dedicated to Cadalee Biarritz. I definitely checked that one out. So Big Crit, dedicated to Cadalee Biarritz. Check that out. I definitely think it's an enjoyable listen. You're going to get a good vibe to it. When you're getting out of work, had a long day, you can just put it down, put the windows down, just chill and just coast. Not if you're on the East Coast. Not if you're in New York or Jersey. Don't put the windows down. It's a little bit too cold for that out there. But you're in a warm weather climate, you know what I mean? Definitely do that. It definitely has a summertime, summer vibe to it, you know, that you could rock out to. So dedicated to Cadalee Biarritz, Big Crit, I give a strong 8 out of 10. It's looking like it's holding up my 10 slot right now. We got some other reviews coming up. I still got to get to Conway the Machine. I still got to get to the Game mixtape. We got some more content coming up on Game, so check that out. And we will be back with some more content and reviews. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. Trying to get to 500. I know we're just trying to start, get a core out there, get a core fan base out there. So definitely like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your evening. I will catch up with y'all soon. All right. Peace.